Thanks to the success of Alliance, the Kingdom Rush community is bustling. So, now that everyone is together, I can think of no better time to make everyone feel bad. 2.5 years ago, I made a video titled, "This Community is Dumb," where I made fun of the ways that I felt like the community was underthinking. While I do think there is still a lot of that going on, and I am still going to call it out, this video is going to be different. I think we need to get a little bit more serious than last time, because I am genuinely displeased with some of the behavior I've seen in the community lately. The most dire of these things has been elitism. People can enjoy these games without having to know-life them. That should go without saying. It should also go without saying that expecting someone to complete a level on the first try is dumb. But because this community is dumb, I'll explain why that's wrong. You don't know which enemies will spawn in which combinations before you've tried the level. You don't know which new enemies can appear, nor what they will do. Therefore, you don't know how to counter them yet. A great example of this is the first level of the second environment of Alliance. The start of the stage gives you multiple acolytes, which are basic ground enemies who are most efficiently dealt with by artillery. But if you dare try to use artillery, you'll be punished later because you need to dedicate so much of your firepower to deal with corrupted stalkers. If you happen to build a spread of towers that can hit flying, then you can first try it with luck. But if you didn't happen to do that, and you also happen to have selected any melee heroes or reinforcements, there's nothing you can do to clutch up in that moment. So not only is it irrelevant to skill, but even if it was, this would still be a horrible way to talk to people. Imagine how uncool you would sound if you tried to uphold this elitist standard to some doctor who happened to be playing this game on mobile. They clearly have better things to do. But then it should be obvious how rude it is to assume that other people have nothing better to do than meet your arbitrary standards. Another thing I've seen people do is get overly confident with their opinions compared to other people. I've already talked about why no matter how much math you try to do in these games, the conclusion you draw will still be subjective in the end. But what I didn't emphasize is that if you do want to have a civil conversation about differences in opinions, then you should focus on the fundamentals first. I found that most disagreements I have with people come from having different definitions of things and different criteria for judging things. If you see that someone came to a different conclusion than you, rather than calling them names behind their back in an environment that you expect to serve as an echo chamber, ask questions to see where they're coming from. Of course, a discussion is a two-way street. You shouldn't tolerate someone who also doesn't want to listen to you, but it's just as intolerable to do the same to them. I would also like to say that when someone dislikes a Kingdom Rush game, there's no need to be so mean to them for their criticism. RCCH did a livestream of Alliance where he called it the most overpriced tower defense game of all time. He did spread some misinformation, like claiming Kingdom Rush 1 and Frontiers are free, which is only true for the first game on mobile, while comparing them to the $20 price of Alliance on Steam. He also said this about the gameplay loop.
This game's a scam. I've seen enough of this game now. 2 boss fights that were completely underwhelming, and then a gameplay experience that was completely shit for the second area, and a slow-ass tutorial.
Even though he accidentally left the game on normal difficulty and proceeded to say this on level 2,
Hold on, I actually need to pay attention right here.
and went on to lose lives in every stage in the second area, so it seems to me like he could have tried harder in the game and might have enjoyed it more. But overall, I think he had valid criticisms of the game. The boss fights are too easy. The enemy waves in Area 2 are too simple. The tutorial is too slow. And if the game didn't grab him within 2/3 of the campaign, he has no obligation to keep playing. I do not endorse any hate comments or harassments of this guy or any other person who dislikes the game. And I'm not saying that because I know this person. I've never heard of this guy before. You should disprove arguments that you disagree with, but don't cyberbully people. I know that there must be some cyberbullying going on in this community. A good example of this is Super John Bombo. While I strongly disagree with his hero reviews, the fact that he had to make this statement is really sad. You can tell that people have been giving him a hard time because they disagree with his opinion on a kid's game. I know that you guys want me to be your weapon. You want me to go out and attack the people that are giving all their so-called bad takes. Luckily for you, as much as I don't condone cyberbullying, I do still want to call out some things that I disagree with. Rewind back to July 25th, 2024. right when Alliance released. If you were subscribed to multiple Kingdom Rush YouTube channels, your feed was probably flooded with videos that were pre-made for the game's release. 6-hour walkthroughs, all bosses, all achievements, tier lists, and everyone's favorite, all heroes versus an enemy. I am so sorry for ever posting clips of a hero fighting an enemy onto YouTube. I did this almost 6 years ago to prove a point to someone on the Ironhide Games forums. Little did I know that this would pave the way for YouTube channels to churn out footage of units dueling each other. People can post what they want, and if other people watch it and enjoy it, then that's good for them all. What I take potential issue with, since I can't prove this concretely, is how it feels like there's no integrity behind any of this. I must sound so pretentious, but I've refrained from making any quick tier list videos or anything else that I may want to post because I want to give myself enough time to create something that I know I would want to watch. At least in my case, because I haven't had enough free time to get there yet, there hasn't been enough testing done with all the towers or all of the heroes to make a video for Alliance on nearly the same level of quality as my hero ranking. What I've noticed with everyone else's tier lists so far is that they do 1 to 2 playthroughs of the game, happen to have tried out towers in ways that don't favor them so much, while they also happen to try out some other towers in ways that do favor them, and make a quick tier list based on their experiences while believing that these experiences should match everyone else's experiences. That's why, whenever they see someone else's tier list, they are appalled and have to wonder what they must have been smoking to come up with that. The truth is, from my findings, this is by far Ironhide's most balanced tower set. Even though this is supposed to be the game where flying enemies are the most threatening, you can win with just your heroes and reinforcements soloing the flying enemies. The supposedly worst towers in the game, which everyone claims are some artillery and some barracks, can still be used to win most of the hardest stages in the game. Rather than rushing to make a tier list out of pure feeling, I wanted to find criteria that most people will find rational and judge the towers on those metrics. I want to play with every tower several times in each stage with minor adjustments each time in order to see how well they perform under all the conditions I can think of that are worth evaluating. What those conditions will be are still up for interpretation, and only more experience will give me what I need in order to come to a conclusion that I'm at least somewhat happy with. Am I mad at or jealous of people for posting just their initial impressions of the game? No, not at all. At most, I'm jealous of the time they've had to be able to make these videos in the first place. I've never felt more strapped for time than since the past couple of months. On top of that, people like the Real Morgan go out of their way to state that their opinion will change in time. So I really don't have any ill will towards them. I just wish for there to be higher quality, more well thought out videos already. But it's only been a week. You can't rush quality. So really, my only gripe with all of this is that it seems like some people want to post immediate content, which still took up some time, so now it's going to be even longer until we get the real juicy stuff. But hey, that just means we have even less things to distract us from enjoying Alliance itself. So all in all, let's just keep enjoying the game series that brought us all into this community in the first place. We should be able to enjoy the game and be nice to each other at the same time. And I can't wait to give you guys some quality videos to enjoy. And the only way to do that is to stop yapping and get to work. So, bye.